Hello, folks. Slightly Slanted Sleuths coming at you from the Stabbing Cabin in Oakdale, Minnesota. How is everybody? And I'm glad you could join me. Sorry, there we go. So yeah, there we are. Howdy. That light's a little crazy here. Hang on. There we go. That's my motif from now on, I guess. Hey, what's up, Pete Turtle? I like turtles. What's up, My Skies 5D? Glad you could join me. Spartan, what up? Hero Prees, what does that mean, Yawanawa? Eric Love, nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you here, I mean. Looking forward to this from Apache Junction, Arizona. Nice. Thanks, I'm glad you could join me. The Hammer of the Gods, what's up, dude? Or chick, whatever one you are. Ricky Spence, what's up? Yeah, guys, if anybody wants to come on and join in the conversation, um, you can do so. I'll post a link here. What's your reason for quitting marijuana? I didn't quit marijuana. What you talking about? I quit smoking cigarettes. I haven't smoked a cigarette for 10 days now. 10 whole days, guys. Yes, it's been 10 whole days. I had to quit smoking. I did it out of necessity. I couldn't breathe, because allergies are really bad right now in Minnesota, because the pollen's everywhere and I have hay fever. Yep, 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 yep. South Park. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about, I was on Milky Way's channel, and we were talking about the Golden Age. And I forgot to. Hey, what's up, MCF? I'm glad you could join us. Nice. Love you too, honey. Hey, what's up, brother? Yes, I hope so. Aaron, you want to come on and join? I'll have the post a link here and chat here in a minute. Um, but yeah, I wanted to thank everybody for putting up with my I don't know, my channel and my I don't know, craziness, I guess. I cough black stuff and quit cold. Weed helped bring my hearing back from being completely deaf for 6 months. Wow. Wow. Hey, what's up, Joanne? What's up, sweetheart? I'm glad you could join us. Yeah, hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna fetch the link here real quick. Bear with me. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Do 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 do. Okay, here we go. Yeah, about to exam up. Just watching. Cool, cool. But there's the Zoom link if anybody wants to. A bag of hammers tonight. Cool. Yeah, it's all good. I just, there's a couple things I want to show you guys, and I can start with um, where are we at here? This one. Let me see. Oh, what happened? What happened? Huh. So I don't have the bandwidth for that, I suppose. I'm still live, I hope. Yes, I am. Okay, so I'm going to go to my drive then. And if anybody, I'm scared of the dark. Yeah, you guys see this light up here above my head? Isn't that quite odd? Rainbow, love your fellow northern neighbors. Yes, you. Thank you. Eat hot garlic if you get all congested. I don't know about that. People don't want to be around you when you're eating garlic. But, teach their own. But yeah, guys, we were talking about the golden age last night, and I forgot to share what I wanted to share as far as the I wanted to show this right here. I wanted to speak about this. So I'm going to share my screen here in a second. Okay, I think I can do it. Okay, here we go. And right here. So yeah, here's a Wikipedia link for the Golden Age. And the specific thing I wanted to share with you guys was about the Golden Age in Europe, Greece. No, right here, the Orphic school and the mystery school, the mystery cult, Orphic cult. It's it says right here. I wanted to. Orphics sometimes identified the Golden Age with the era of the god Thanes, who was regent over the Olympus before Kronos in classical mythology. However, the Golden Age was associated with the reign of Saturn in the 5th century BCE. The philosopher Empedocles, like Hesiod before him, emphasized the idea of primordial innocence and harmony in all of nature, including human society, from which he maintained there had been a steady deterioration until the present. Now, I think that speaks to the cycles of, thought about who all weekend. He is a quitter. You quit smoking? Yes, I did quit smoking. I did. It's been 11 days, 10 days. Yes, it's been a while. It's been a while, and I'm happy. I can breathe again, you know what I mean? And quitting smoking is pretty easy. It is. It's pretty easy. It's way easy when you put your mind to something and you decide that's it. It's like I've said. Thank you, Joanne. Smoking what? What do you mean smoking what? Shock and awe, childlike views of the world. Yes, we do have childlike views of the world, do we not? Okay, now, and then the other thing I wanted to point out, besides the Orphic about the Golden Age, was the Brahma Kumara. Okay, the world drama is the story of the rise and fall of human souls during the sojourn in this world. It is about the interplay of souls, matter, and God, and of the different stages through which human souls pass in 5 different epochs or acts of this drama. The drama begins with the Golden Age, when every soul expresses its original qualities of purity, peace, love, and truth, and human relationships are marked by complete harmony. The virtuous nature of these divine beings is mirrored by nature, which is in its pristine state and serves humans with abundance. This is the time remembered as heaven or paradise by humanity. Golden Age is the time when the human beings are full of all the divine virtues and have all of the seven qualities: peace, purity, love, wisdom, happiness, power, and bliss to the fullest. And henceforth, they are called deities, that we remember them as were, were our ancestors whose divinity is worshipped in Hindu temples. The Silver Age comes after Golden Age, where at times goes by the souls who are the actors in this drama undergo a gradual decline. By Act Two, the number of souls has increased significantly, and through all uh, are still happy and prosperous. The radiance and fullness of characterized their lives in no more is no more. I just read the story about Ishtar and the creation of winter and summer. Really good. Yes, that is pretty cool. Licorice root is good for cravings and fun to make into natural toothbrush. Thank you, Paul. Yes, I quit smoking cigarettes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I quit smoking cigarettes. Yes, yes, yes. But there is a reference to a succession of kingdoms in Nebuchadnezzar's dream in Daniel 2 in decreasing order, identified as gold, silver, bronze, iron, and finally mixed iron and clay. Your Majesty looked, and there before you stood a large statue, an enormous, dazzling statue, awesome in appearance. The head of the statue was made of pure gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly baked clay. While you were watching, a rock was cut out, but not by human hands. Its it struck the statue on its feet of iron and clay and smashed them. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and gold were all broken into pieces and became like chaff on a threshing floor in the summer. The wind swept them away without leaving a trace. But the rock that struck the statue became a huge mountain and filled the whole earth. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that because it's just confusing. But yeah, I mean, the golden age is sought after, has been, will come again, and it's part of the cycles, guys. You know, I think it's, you know, there's a cycle within a cycle within a cycle, and the part of the world where the Lord of the Rings is set was designed by symmetrical and perfect after the War of Gods. Arda, I don't know about none of that, but yeah, we could get into lots and lots and lots of the Yuga cycles. I mean, it for every culture there is a golden age, and it's kind of fitting that they all speak of the same thing, you know, in the same time frames. It's kind of weird, actually. But yeah, enough of that. We'll go to there was another thing I wanted to show you guys in here. Adding citations. There was a because I've been doing research on Pluto, as you well know, and during that research, Planet Fitness. What the hell? I don't want Planet Fitness. But in the what the hell? Okay, right here is where I wanted to show you guys. In looking for Pluto's correlation to what's going on, in my opinion, I believe Pluto is the the duat. It's where, you know, our consciousness flows through. I think it's the intermediary between worlds. You know what I mean? No one wants fitness. Max Vision, what's up, buddy? Like the Roaring Twenties followed the Great Depression. Blend my own, mostly Mexican dirt, I believe. Suffering is a gift. It in it is hidden mercy. Nice. Now that's my point in what I've been talking about. I remember when reincarnation was just enough. Do you guys remember that? I mean, when we thought, I remember when life and reincarnation to this life was enough. And nowadays people are, okay, you guys, I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to enter in trapezium. This is the Aladdin light. If anybody's trying to join, just try to remind me here in chat. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to the participants window up here. Okay, now this is M42. This is Orion. This is the trapezium open star cluster right here. Okay. Now I can show you here. Let me show you this first. I can show you like insane correlation to where the pictures that you see, like the winged disc in Egyptian hieroglyphs and in the Sumerian clay tablet seals and stuff, you see these winged discs, and the winged disc, in my opinion now, is the light, the creator light. Are the ages orchestrated? How long have people been on the earth? Who claims ownership over it? I don't know. Nice clear night in the UK makes a change. Suffering is a gift. I believe that. Yes. Magic pill for fitness. Yeah, that's what everybody wants, right? Now this is taking a while to load because of my bandwidth and my computer is obsolete and old. All moldy and oldie. There we go. Okay, now check this out. Now you see this, it looks like a helmet here. This is that wing disc thing you see. I'm going to see if I can go to my pictures in my drive, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But I will, maybe I'll just search it in a different page. Open a new tab. Okay, now I'll search the wing disc, and I'll show you that this image right here is depicted in numerous pictographs or hieroglyphics or on clay tablets, and it's just crazy. Oops. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right here. There's a picture of it. What rate? I think it's this one. Okay, now you see this right here. Now, this is just insane because there is a physical place where, right here, you see this? This is what I just showed you, and I'm going to go back to that page here. Look at it. See that? Let me see if I can. I can't open the image in the same picture, can I? But you see the helmet? You see all of this? This is all the same. Now watch. I'm gonna go to a different one here. This is also the light, you know, this light that's above my head right here. You know what I mean? It's this light right here. It, I mean, and I'm trying to wrap my head around why. Okay, right here. Now, doesn't that look exactly like that? Now I'm going to go to a different picture here. This is a different bandwidth. This is band gas. I don't know what that means, but it shows you. But look at, here's the wing disk too. But look at in the trapezium open star cluster is the cross. They're shaped. The stars are shaped as a cross. But I mean, it looks like a soldier. Okay, here's a different view. I was born in a military base, 101st, then grew up in Panama, Central America. Had chest pains on occasion since I was in my early 20s. My dad was special ops, experimental diving, and aviation. My mom was born with cancer in Germany, gave birth to me in America at 16. She died of cancer February. Sorry to hear that, Spartan. Right, it would be nice to have a pill for a magic pill for enlightenment. I agree with that, Michelle. Totally agree with that. But you know, if everything was handed to us on a silver platter, would it be worth having? You know, would you want it, or would you covet it? Would you cherish it as much as we do when we work for things? You know, I believe that is the dichotomy, or the human struggle is part of the, you know, like I said last night, I think that when we're in the energy field, when we are in the ether, when as ether beings, or as the energy we are, when we're in the duat, the in between, which is a place where we just linger until we decide to come back to achieve the goal. You know, I believe we achieve, what's meth? What are you talking about? But anyway, we, by, what was I talking about? By having to struggle for things and the ups and downs of our life. Yes, it's a great taste. Exactly, Pete Turtle. That's why I like Totos. You know, I mean, if 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 there wasn't a yin to the yang, would the yang be strived after? Would we want everything handed to us? Would we want all of the knowing? Stay up for 2 weeks, become enlightened. I've stayed up for 2 weeks before. I stayed up for 22 days once when I was doing crank. It was back in the crank days. Yes, I did. I was a drug addict for a long time on that shit. You know, and I did lots of acid. I've done lots of. I've done every drug except for heroin. I've never shot up anything, but I've done pretty much every other drug. Okay, now here's a cool image right here. But you see that same image. This is also Yaldabaoth. This is where, you know, Yaldabaoth, the picture of Yaldabaoth comes from. Okay, now this is Orion's Nebula, and the trapezium open star cluster is right here in the middle. Okay, I'm on blue. Let's see what it looks like in this one. Okay, this one. Looking for a certain spectrum. Right here. This is wild. Now, it's like everything else, like in Google Earth, where it's blocked out, right where I want to see. Because right behind that rectangle, that black rectangle, is the trapezium open star cluster. You know, and that's what I want to see. And I can't see it. And I don't know why it's blocked out like that. But in every other spectrum, you can see it. There's another this telescope on here. I don't know what these weird rings are either, though. Those show up in other places in this. I don't know if you guys have played with this at all, but it's pretty cool. It's called Aladdin Light. It's the portal for the video today. Your hippocampus is the Leviathan. Take a look. It's neat. Nice. Mushrooms can be used like an antidepressant to help the hippocampus produce new neurons. Right? Right. And the I believe that the ultimate of opposites, like the yin and the yang, are the light and the dark. You know, that's the ultimate female male divine principle. You know, the light inseminates the dark, right? Lights it up. Correct. That's what I'm. You know, that's my synopsis on that, I guess, or my take on it. Okay, here's a good one right here. Now, if it loads right here. Okay, now remember the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it says everything, the number 42 is the answer to all. Now watch this. This is crazy. Yeah, change the color. Oops. Is it going to change it? Look at that. Now look at that. Isn't that wild? Oh man, it changed it again. They wanted to change it. I'm going to go back to this one. Wow, my computer's locking up on me. I'm doing too much stuff here. It's lagging behind. My clicks are like 4 clicks ahead. Okay. Come on. See, this is what happens when you get click happy. Okay, right. Oh, come on, really? All right. Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. I had it. Oh, well. Okay. Oh, there it is. Damn it. And I switched it. Sorry. But yeah. This right here, to me, is exactly like this right here. It's the same thing. I mean, in the physical sense, I believe this is the, whoa, this is the Keither. This is the above. Here's a better one. I think this is the same one, isn't it? But this is the above, the Keither, and Earth is the Malkuth, you know? What's manifest above is manifest below. Here's a good one too, right here. I should zoom down to this one. But yeah, guys, the fact of the matter is that we, as human beings, have lost touch with our inherent abilities to regenerate our existence, meaning that the golden age that we were talking about yesterday is achievable. First and foremost, through each and every one individually, but I mean, as a collective, I believe that if we all were on the same page, we could we can live in harmony. You know, I mean, it's I know it's a tall order to even suggest that we could all get along. You know, everybody thinks that, you know, we're going to eat each other or whatever if shit hits the fan. You know, I that matters not to me because I'd still help. With my last can of soup, I'd help somebody out on the side of the road. I could not pass them up. You know, I'd have to help. Okay, I'm closing out that. I'm closing out this, and I'm closing out that. Okay, I'm gonna stop the share now. But yeah, guys, I wanted to say, you know, hey, what's up, G Ant? What's up? I like blondes. Who doesn't like blondes? Wish we could share pics on here. You can send them to my email 333 stone333 at gmail.com, and I'll go to my email and I'll open them up. Yes, Pyramid 7. Do you still want that drone? I still have it. Still have the drone. All about the Ra. Right, Ra perspective. P Turtle, light is the creator of the third dimension. It carries all the information for everything and paints it for us all to experience. Correct. Yes, I agree with that. That's totally correct. Looky Gaia. People resorting to cannibalism. It's all by design by the government. We are gods. It is within us all. Yes, it is within us all. The golden age within, golden age outside. Language is the de-evolution. The brain is a muscle and has abilities we don't exercise. This is very true. In Russia and in sages, what's that mean? In sieges. What do you mean by that? You know, the cycles that we're experiencing now. I mean, when you look up at the sun and you see the sun is sensual shroom. I love that name. That's cool as hell. But yeah, if you look at the sun and you see how white it is and how off it just it does not feel right when you look up at it. You know what I mean? It's not the yellow sun that we grew up with. And if people want to argue that fact, I don't really think they're honest with themselves if they want to say that the sun isn't changed to a whiter color. And I believe that whole change of the color has been spoken about in the Bible in all kinds of religious texts or ancient Greek underworld, Hades. Pluto, the Greek god who is sometimes referred to as Hades, was the ruler of the underworld, which is, confusingly, also sometimes referred to as Hades. See, now, when I was younger, I used to think Hades or the underworld was a bad thing. Well, it's not. The ancient Greeks believed that everyone went to the underworld when they died. That is the Duat. And the underworld was made up of three parts: the Asphodel fields, Tartarus, and Elysian fields. Now, isn't that funny that Tartarus is listed is a field in the Duat or in the underworld? Now, everybody wants to say Tartaria was a place on Earth, whatever. I don't know, you know, and saying that that's part of the suppressed history that you guys can't see it. I gotta stop sharing. Duh. Here I'm talking to myself and thinking I'm sharing, and I'm not even caring. Where are we at here? I think this is it right here. Sorry, guys. I wanted to show you guys this. Pluto, the Greek gods, sometimes referred to. Evil people were sent to Tartarus, a place of punishment and suffering. Those who had lived a particular good and heroic life on earth were rewarded by being swallowed are allowed to walk in the Elysian fields, a place of peace, bliss, and rest. So that's a version of the Golden Age, I think. The entrance to the underworld is guarded by Cerberus, the three-headed dog. Now, where else have we heard that three-headed dog thing? The river Styx divided the earth from the underworld. In order to reach the underworld, you had to cross the Styx by paying Charon, the boatman, to ferry you to the other side. Now, where does that tie in the whole Nibiru thing? Because Nibiru, by definition, is a place of crossing, or a crossing, or a signpost for transition, usually to do with rivers. So, I mean, and then you go on to this and you read this, that, it's the same thing. You had to cross to ferry. You had to pay Charon, the boatman, to ferry you to the other side. The entrance to the underworld is guarded by Cerberus. It doesn't that sounds like the cherubim, doesn't it? I mean, I think find out about the ancient Greek gods and goddesses by clicking here. Now, let's find out what that says. But yeah, Pluto is a planet, or a energy source. Three-headed dog, Harry Potter films, yes. Swamp is hell, lower land. Yeah, but I mean, Pluto is both light and dark. The brightest light has the darkest shadows, and that's Pluto. That's our consciousness too. That's our although the stories contained in the Greek myths and legends make up part of the religion of the ancient Greeks, they did not set out strict religious rules which must be followed, such as are set down in the Bible or the Quran. And it's because they wanted to, oh yeah, here we go. So I wanted to look up Demeter. Now, Demeter is associated with the planet Ceres, I believe. The dwarf planet Ceres, Ceres, I believe it is. Demeter is the daughter of the Titans Rhea and Kronos. She was the sister of Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, and Pluto. She is also the goddess of harvest and the earth. And she, oh, come on, really? Why can't I freaking, for real? Demeter carried out her duties with the help of her daughter Persephone. I did it again. Are you kidding me? What the hell's going on here? This is pissing me off. Sorry. Demeter is reunited with her daughter. Demeter is generous and caring. She is often pictured holding corn. And I thought this would tell me right here, if it was half her time, decided that Persephone must spend half her time in the underworld with Pluto and the other half on Earth with Demeter. When Persephone is away, Demeter mourns, and the Earth experiences autumn and winter. This is what somebody was just talking about reading. When Demeter is reunited with her daughter, the plants and crops start to bloom. Now, somewhere I found out that Demeter was the same as Ceres, and I can't remember. I think Aaron told me that one day. And I don't know what's going on here. Oops, screen viewing sharing is stopped. But yeah, right on, Maxi Bingo. I think people in the past had a better understanding of spirit religion, took all that away. Yeah, I believe that. Yes, I believe that totally. So, are you Ceres? Right, Ceres. Now, Ceres, in the big scheme of things, here, let me go to Ceres in the scheme of things is part of that cross conjunction that I've been talking about. You know what I mean? It's part of the whole thing, and it's the oddly enough, it's the third one in line after the sun. Or second one. It's second one, I think. Third. No, second. Yeah, it's Earth. Oddly enough, it's Moon, Earth, Sun, Mercury, Ceres, Saturn, and Pluto. And I think that that whole line of planets, or that whole setup or scheme, is the macrocosmic to the microcosmic that we are privy to, or I don't know what this whole unlock shit is about. No, I gotta turn this down. Sorry. Nah, frick it. I'm not even gonna go to it. But yeah, I wanted to go to my drive here, but I can't. I had it all set up, and I don't know what I did. It won't let me exit the. There we go. Okay. So click on here. Sorry guys. But yeah, my drive right here. All right. So yeah, if anybody wants to share a picture, you can send it to my email and just give me a heads up, and I will share it with you. I'll share it with everybody. You know, when those planets are in certain position. Love you too, my sister of love. Yes, sir. Sirius. I was born with Anubis's cane as a birthmark. Really? That's pretty cool. Right. I I think birthmarks are pretty significant, and I think they also tell a story of your past life, or a trauma on your body as well. Like some people have had birthmarks on their chest, and they were suspected of remembering their past lives, and they were kids, mind you, 7 years old, 5 years old, and there were studies done with these kids that they were like, this one kid was scared of flying, or scared of the water. He drowned apparently. Then this other kid was scared of driving and loud noises, and this other kid was scared of planes. But to get down to make it a long story short, these kids, their traumas from their past lives were haunting them when they were youngsters. And I think there's a lot of people out here that have had past life memories in them. And like my wife, she's scared of water. My kids scared of water. I mean, they're petrified of it. They won't go on the ice. They won't. And I believe that they they held on to a specific memory from past life. And I think that I had dreams when I was younger of energy and light and shapes, geometric shapes. And I forgot what I was opening up my drive for here. I was going to show you guys something. Um, does anybody remember what I was going to show you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I was going to show you something. Oh, it's I don't know. But yeah. Oh, damn it! I was going to show you that picture. Recent. Okay. Yeah, but guys, like a candy cane, Anubis has the only staff that matches it. My social security number also confirms it, along with my dreams. I drowned and came back with no body. Nobody should have. I'm connected to him. They hung me or cut my head off. Screw the ice. Fall through once. It's all it takes. Be interesting if they were regressed someday. Yes. And I I honestly believe like that Dolores Cannon stuff. She was a past life regression therapist or whatever, and It's quite amazing how people can come up with like stuff. What's that lady's Patty Sojourn? I think her name is. She does research in reincarnation, but she's actually met kids. Oh, here, this is what I wanted. Kids that remembered where they lived, brought her there. And, you know, I think I told this story before where the kid convinced the people that lived there, which was his wife when he died, which was a 60-year-old lady. And this kid was like 7 years old. And this kid convinced this 60-year-old lady and his daughter that it was him reincarnated. And you know how he did it? He convinced him by saying, the pants that I bought the day that I died when I was shot in the chest, I'd like those back, and I'd like to see those because I guess pants were a big deal in his culture. You didn't get a new pair of pants all the time, but they actually accepted him. You know, tell me how weird that would be. Hang on, I gotta answer my daughter here. But yeah, you see this wing disc right here? And this is the tree of life. I think you guys can see it. I hope you can. Uh, you think the Earth only exists in the third dimension? Uh, I think that the Earth is the third rock from the sun in the third dimension. It's the fear factory. It's the place where we have to muddle through the madness and still find our way to God. And I think that's what it's all about. I think that you know, God is our higher self. Everybody's higher self is God. I don't know what cancel what this is telling me to do, but yeah. What the hell? Computer's locking up now. I'm gonna get off Google Drive. But yeah, yeah, this right here, this light, does that not look like the light that Phil talks about? I love that, you know. And the light, I think, no multiverse, buddy. I don't know about that. Hang on a second, guys. What's up? What do you want? I ain't supposed to see it in 11 days.
Fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, my dad threw me in the St. Croix River and made me learn a year after I drowned. How many branches does the tree have? You've had a roller coaster sport and hence your name. Go be a good dad, we understand. Took swimming lessons later, never could swim underwater. Always floated to the surface. Right. I was a fish in the water. You know, I could hold my breath forever. I could swim underwater. I swam everywhere. I used to go cliff diving all the time. I used to go to Taylor's Falls, which is Interstate National Park, I believe. It's a place on the St. Croix River where there's several cliffs, and I used to jump off the one that they called the Beehive. It was 5 seconds before you hit the water. 1,000, 1,000, but it was quite invigorating. Yes, the earth is a being that you can't understand. The cells in your body do not know that you are you. I think that there might be something to that, I guess. But the earth is a being that you can't understand. The earth is connected directly to us. Okay, now to get back to what I was talking about, I believe that the third rock, there's no coincidence. The number thing in all of creation, like 333, that's my number. You know, we're on the third rock from the sun in the third dimension. You know, I think it all lines up. You get into the Emerald Tablets, and it speaks of, oh, mighty spirit of light that shines through the cosmos, draw my flame closer in harmony to thee. Lift up my fire from out of the darkness, magnet of fire that is one with thee all. Lift up my soul, thou mighty and potent. Child of the light, turn not away. Draw me in power to melt in thy furnace, one with all things and all things in one, fire of the life strain, and one with the brain. Now, that invocation or that prayer will bring you information. And like Max Vision likes to talk about the Christos, and there's certain days when we are more apt to achieve a state in which we are able to receive more information. I believe that there is an ebb and flow to the cycle within the cycle for every one of us. And if you can figure out that cycle for you, you can tap into the Akasha at will. You just have to know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You know what I mean? You have to know, because I'm telling you, I come up with the weirdest information out of left field. Okay, now I wanted to, okay, right here. List ye, O man, to the depth of the wisdom. Speak I of knowledge hidden from man. Far have I been on my journeys through space-time, even to the end of the space of this cycle. Found I there the great barrier, holding man by leaving this cycle. I glimpsed I the hounds of the barrier, lying in wait for he who would pass them. In that space where time exists not, faintly I sensed the guardians of cycles. Move they only through angles, free are they not of the curved dimensions. So the curved dimensions, I believe, is the interplay between the black hole mechanics, or the tiers of a inward vortex, or a, you know, I believe that everything existent in the manifested material world has a point source, like this light up here, the light of our creator, which is indifferent, is neither good nor bad, but both, neither male nor female, but both, is the son of man, is the son of God. That is point source. That light is point source. And everything in our creation is point source, singularity point source, meaning that there's a center of all things. And I believe our center of all things is in our heart. You know, I believe that wholeheartedly, no pun intended. Now, I think that when the moon is in your sun sign, would be an odd thing to ask for if you chose. What? I am more into thinking I was dragged here kicking and screaming, that this place is some sort of form of hell of suffering. But that's just my experience. Right. Now, what if you experienced your last life, Miles, that everything was bliss? And what if, okay, now say we're all sitting around the duat, we're chilling, okay? What are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? I don't know. Manifest me this, manifest me that. Okay, you can manifest everything you want there, apparently. So you have no struggles. You have everything you want. Would that not get old? Having everything you want? Would that not get old? Think about that. Would you be content in that? Really, ask yourself that. I think we come back here. I think we come back here because we want to be here. We want to experience the struggles, the ups, the downs, the all arounds. You know? You know what I mean? I believe that that's what it's about. I think we are addicted to coming back here just because, just because. And I think it's a must. We must do this until we die before we die. So when we die, we don't die. The whole born again Christian thing, you know, spirit is born of spirit, right? Flesh is born of flesh. I think that's John 3:5. You know, I've been doing a little more studying on the Bible, and I'd like to give a shout out to Starflower. She's always, tried to help me, hold me on the Word of God train, you know, and I've gone back and forth on that, but now I totally am on board with, the Bible is convoluted for a reason. It's not, the Bible is not straightforward, like any other religious text, because it's like anything else in our existence, like I was just talking about. Like, if you had everything handed to you when you got here, what would you strive to do? What would you want to be? What would you do with the knowledge of the forever time? You know, would you improve? What could you improve? How could you improve? That is part of the whole cyclical nature of humanity and consciousness, rise and fall of civilizations and our consciousness as a whole. Now, on an individual scale, some of us probably have achieved the divine union already and decided to come back on this planet to help others. The 144,000. I firmly believe that most of those are people on YouTube or in the social media compartmentalized YouTube algorithm, or whatever you want to call us, the people that actually care about what happens to humanity. Because there's charlatans out here that would have you think that they care, but in the same breath, they care more about the return they're getting about caring, if you follow my drift. And I'm not knocking anybody for asking for money or any of that. If your intention is true, and you cannot lie to yourself. You can lie, cheat, steal, whatever, but you cannot lie to yourself. And that lying to yourself means you're lying to God. It's like Santa Claus, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. I think all of it is interconnected. All of the Santa Claus mythology, all of it. I think the stories that we have been told is like the nursery rhymes, the seven Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Santa Claus and his 12 or his reindeer. And the Last Supper painting. I mean, the Three Bears, the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I mean, all over the place. You see the same story just manifest in different genre, and it's always to do with what we want to be, what we want to achieve, but we don't know it. It's hidden from us on purpose, because if we knew what we knew, if I knew then what I know now, would I be any better off? Or would I be off on a tangent trying to rob and pillage people? You know what I mean? Right. Right. People are crazy, seriously. Santa Claus. Impossible to watch her for one day, yet I am supposed to do it every day. Yeah, Miles, I gotta hand it to you, brother. Do they think I am some sort of God that can perform miracles? No, they say that's blasphemy. Do people even think of the words that come out of their mouths? The goal is to stay sane as well in this unpredictable world. Yes, it is to stay even keeled, to stay to have control of your emotions, and that's precisely. I'm glad you brought that up. That's precisely why I decided to quit smoking. Because if there's a will, there's a way, and I think that is what the whole free will thing's about. You know, and I'm not talking about freeing Willie, and I'm not talking about our willpower. I'm talking about will. Will it, and it becomes. And that's plain and simple how I quit smoking, guys. I just willed it. I wanted to do it. I'm doing it. I'm not going back to it. And I'm not saying it's easy. I crave. You do have to believe in some of the delusions to function in society. Yes, you do. And the biggest delusion is that we need money. Money is the root of all evil. God doesn't, you perform it. What is that? What do you mean by that? God doesn't, you perform it. What do you mean by that, Spartan? God doesn't. But yeah, I think that like the second coming of the Son of Man, or the second coming of Jesus Christ, you know, that people are saying he's on his way back. Well, yeah, if you allow him to be, if you allow it to be, because Jesus, in my opinion, is that light right here up above my head. It's the Son of Man, the Son of God. We create that in union with God. It's a self-regenerative principle of our existence, you know. But yeah, I think that besides all that deep stuff and the esoteric journey that I'm finding myself deeper and deeper into, I believe that if we do right by you, me, he, we, she, we can do no wrong. And I think that's what it's all about, is paying it forward, you know. Santa is a symbolic form of Jesus. Sounds about right. Yes, never left, yo. So logically, anyone that believes in the state, country, etc., is insane, according to the definition, suffering from delusions. Yes, God does help you perform miracles. And for mentioning Golgotha, possibly being the place of a giant skull where the Christ was supposedly crucified. Investigating doesn't mean I'm a freak. Been on his way for the past 2,000 years. Yes, right, right. I mean, like that on the bottom of that, I forget what it's called. Is it called the Ben Stone? But it's that it was found in Ecuador. It was a pyramid. But when they looked on the bottom side of it, it had an inscription of the Orion constellation and words that said something to the effect of the second coming of the Son of Man. And it was only legible underneath a black light. You could only read it underneath a black light. It was found next to those cups where it looked like a 12 shot glasses around the big chalice or whatever. And when you filled all the little shot glasses up, you could pour them all into the one, and it filled it to its capacity. So the volume in each one of them added together filled the one big one. So it was the 1 and the 13, or the 12 and the 1. You know what I mean? The same as the cranial nerves and the pineal gland, or the Last Supper painting, or the creation of Adam painting, the Allspark. You know, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. If I didn't provide and work 3 jobs to make money, I would not be able to care for and raise my son. I do need money. I get what you're saying, but we are not yet. We are not there yet, unfortunately. Correct. Correct. I totally agree with that. You don't see it coming. Yeah. Most nations are full of people who have had their willpower removed. Will a bill is Beal is Baal is Bell is Bew is Butte is Beautify is it's Saint it's Santa. Thoth, don't get me started. The state are actually traitors according to the Constitution. It's wild. Yeah, you know, Santa Claus represents the Christos coming down from the spine, going back up. I'm leaving your presents. Yes, right. Yes, yeah. That's the Christos. Um, yeah, I agree with that, Max. And you know, that's I totally agree with that. The coming of the second son, you didn't see it coming. You don't see it coming, right? And that's when is Orion visible in the pyramid shaft? I believe it's right around the spring equinox, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but wisdom is hidden in darkness when lit by the flame of the soul. Find thou the wisdom and be light born, a son of the light without form. Seek thee evermore wisdom. Find it in the heart of the flame. Know that only by striving can light pour into thy brain. Now have I spoken with wisdom. List to my voice and obey. Tear open the veils of the darkness. Shine a light on the way. And that's a quote from Thoth. And you know, Thoth, in my opinion, is a deity of our consciousness. It's a personification of our consciousness, just like Jesus, Jesus the Christ consciousness. He may have been a person, but he was nothing more than you or me that was enlightened, guys. You know what I mean? He was nothing more than you and me if we were enlightened like him. You know, I'm not, you know, I hope I didn't offend anybody by saying that, but we can all become Jesus. I can become Steve the Christ. You can become G. Ant the Christ, or Shannon Kling the Christ. Yes, some doors only open. That's beautiful, Shannon. Some doors are only open from the inside. Correct. I am what I am. You have to be cuckoo crazy pants to believe in contradictions. This is the 1984 couple called doublespeak. Most ancient teachings point to the pineal. Yes, yes, yes. And I believe that. I totally believe. Now, I mean, it's like the saying, you know, the lips of wisdom are closed, and unless you have unless the lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. Now that's one of the best quotes, and that's why I keep repeating it, because I believe it's one of the best quotes that I've ever heard. Or the other one where it's it speaks of keep your mind or keep your make sure you keep your eyes to the stars, but keep your mind uh, on your feet. I can't remember it, but it speaks to, you know, be mindful of the stars and the outside world, but keep your mind in this reality, planted in this reality, lest you stumble by reason of your folly in your upward gaze. You know, and that's a quote, one of them axioms in the Kabbalion. But yeah, what good is torture or death when you can't die? Right. Santa Claus originally had a goat and two horns, yes, representing the right and left lobes of your brain. Hey, Olga, nice to see you. Missed most of the video. You're good. Maybe Jesus is Palladian with psychic abilities from a different atmospheric composition. Could be. Could be. Could be. Only the body dies. You know, we are the light. Yes. Right. We are the light. Right. Life after death has never been proven. Miles, I know it's hard to see the light, dude. I know it is. It's hard to see the positive in this soup of negativity that we reside in. I know it is, but I think we have a shot at being born again or uh, being reborn, or it's the whole. Even the Egyptians, by embalming them, or not embalming, but by mummifying themselves and doing that whole ritual of um, having all this stuff that they can bring to the duat with them or in the afterlife. And I think that's where the tithes came in, where the offering plate came in. I think even the Egyptians were fooled, bamboozled, after a certain period in time. But I mean, this whole divine union or great work or reason for existing, because in my opinion, that is what I was after the whole time. The truth will set us free. Now, the truth, it can only be one truth. There can't be five truths. There can only be one true reason why we're here, guys. And by that, you have to figure that out for yourself. And my reasoning is, if there's more than one truth, then it's not true. It's that simple. So the one true reason why we are here is to complete union with our higher self, which is the ineffable God. And all of the convoluted materials that we have to muddle through to get to that point are just inherently against us. Whether it be malicious or malevolent, or whether it be just by plain ignorance or stupidity, we have done that to ourselves by either buying into or believing in a certain set or a certain dogmatic principle or a certain religious rite or a certain, and that's what the word believe has revealed to me, because in the middle of be and the end of it is lie, just like television. It's a lie. Television, believe. you know, that's fun with words. You can call me stupid for saying that, but I think that in everything we see, hear, touch, smell in this physical realm is a clue to what it. If you look beyond what it really is, what we can feel, taste, hear, smell, whatever. If you look beyond it, there's an explanation of uh, divine properties or proportion there, like the number thing, the 1, 3, 5, 7, the prime numbers. There's no coincidence that the prime numbers are the numbers of creation, or the formula for creation. The three tiers of the Sephirotic tree, the three tiers of the tree of life, which are, just incredibly over the top, repeatable. I mean, it's like the Fibonacci sequence. How how do you explain that? Oh, and I wish my computer was faster. I could show. No, the reason we are here is to experience life in this dimension without a pre-knowledge to chase what excites us most, mystery. Truth is all perspectives Ask the Papo. Right. You can say that the reason why we are here is to chase our exotic flesh-filled desires. You can say that all you want because that's true for you. That's true for you. For me, I believe there's a higher purpose for us to be here. And when you start getting syncs, when things get synchronized and lead you right back to the answer that you had from a different set of data set or a different set of information, and you look somewhere else and all of a sudden it leads you right back to the same place where you started, and it answers your question in the same, you know what I mean? When synchronizations happen like that all the time, it's like me and my 333. Something is inherently divine there that tells me, hey, and I'm not looking for the number 333 either. It's like it's all kinds of synchronizations in my life. The fact that I've almost died a few times, the fact that I've had a near-death experience, the fact that I blocked that out until just a couple years ago, all of that stuff, it was for a reason. I'm alive here on this planet right now talking to you for a reason. And I believe it's this reason, trying to awaken people, because there is a cycle going on here, folks. And if you ask me, we are at that cyclical point where the 1 is the 13. The 13 is the 1. The beginning is the end is the beginning. I'm not saying good or bad. And I'm not afraid to say if it's bad or if it's good. I just know that there's a cycle at hand here. We all know it. We all feel it coming. We all know there's something there. We can all call it catastrophism. We can all call it, grand solar this or solar flare that, or Nibiru this or Nibiru that. Something sparked something in us to get us here to this day. For you to be listening to me right now. Right? I mean, we all look through our peepholes and the same thing. You can live your life for good or you can live your life for evil, but you will still be taught the lessons you need to be from living that life. Right. I agree with that. And, teach their own. You could come on this planet, maybe half of us or 3/4 of us or 99% of us come back to this material manifestation because we're addicted to the materialism, or we're addicted to the sexual thing, or we're addicted to whatever, watching TV, to being a couch potato. Me, I totally believe that I'm here to help people, because when I help somebody, just out of the kindness of my heart, and I'm not trying to pump myself up here, I get this feeling in me that is indescribable. It's an upwelling of goodness that connects you with others that you cannot, when you open a door for somebody and they give you a genuine thank you instead of just like, oh, thanks, or, when they look at you and they're like, oh, that's nice, thank you. And they genuinely appreciate you. You feel that. It resonates with you. It comes back, the karma or the positive vibe that you sent out by doing that good deed, by paying it forward, comes back to you tenfold. And I think that's what it's all about, folks. When we run around thinking life is dog eat dog, and F your neighbor, F this, F that, I'm going to get what I'm going to get, and I'm going to get front and center. I don't care who I step on or whatever. When you live your life like that, dog eat dog material, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, and with no regard for anybody or anything around you other than what your goal is, you're known in this world or in this life as a go-getter, or somebody that works hard, and you're people are praising you, and people are saying, oh wow, he's a hard worker, but the people these days brush aside what real life is supposed to be about. happiness. We are here to be happy. We are here to propagate love. And you know, it sounds cliche, but every damn country we've had war with, we're now friends with, aren't we? Japan, Germany, all of them. All of them. So what does that tell you? We're not here to create war. We're not here to kill each other. We're here to pick each other up, you know? But I think that's won't eat dog. My dog gets scared when I act like I'm going to eat her foot. Live in integrity. Not many understand that concept anymore. This is true. This is true. Used to be a time when a man could work a job, had benefits, wife and kids at home, afford a house. True. No dogs are supposed to be eaten. Be friendly to everyone in your area and you will have it, heaven on earth. Yes, I agree with that. We should always be friends. Yes. We are here to help earth and its animals. Yes. Then women's liberation came in, brainwashed the women into the workforce, doubled the employees, and lowering the wages and benefits. Olga Love, right. Eating cat and dog is still legal in most states. God, you guys are just nuts. I love you guys, though. Yeah. Without you, who would I be? I be you, you be me. He, she, we are all one. One for all for one. Right? That's the oldest mantra known to man or woman. You know, and you could get into all of these stories of the Anunnaki. Let's take that since it's on the thumbnail of this video. The Anunnaki now. The Anunnaki, the fallen angels, whatever, the Watchers are us. We are the Anunnaki. Okay? That's what I believe. 100% I believe that. We are the fallen ones until we become one. Till we make the two one again. The heart, the mind, the yin, the yang, the plus, the minus, the dark, the light. You know, what is a shadow? A shadow isn't a thing. A shadow is a privation of light. You can say there's a shadow. You can say that there's a I don't know. But my point with that is that the yin and the yang are both necessary, right? Without dark, you would not have the light. You would not know what light is without the darkness. So we have to accept it is what it is, right? And all of these stories that are told throughout our history of all of these ancient aliens and, you know, highfalutin tales of war in heaven. I believe it's all to do with our mind, because I think that is the easiest, simplest, most feasible explanation to me would be that if you think it, it is. 3 are the circles or states of existence. The circle of light where dwells nothing but God, and only the God can traverse it. The circle of chaos where all things by nature arise from death. The circle of awareness where all things spring from life. All things animate are of 3 states of existence: chaos or death, liberty and humanity, and felicity of heaven. 3 necessities control all things, beginning in the great deep, the circle of chaos, plenitude in heaven. Three are the paths of the soul: man, liberty, and light. Three are the hindrances: lack of endeavor to obtain knowledge, non attachment to God, attachment to evil. In man, the three are manifest. Three are the kings of power within. Three are the chambers of the mysteries, found yet not found in the body of man. Hear ye now of he who is liberated, freed from the bondage of life into light. Knowing the source of all worlds shall be open. Aye, even the gates of Arulu shall not be barred. Yet heed, O man, who would enter not or enter heaven, if he be not worthy, better would it be to fall into the fire. Know ye the celestials pass through the pure flame at every revolution of the heavens. They bathe in the fountains of light. List ye, O man, to this mystery. Long in the past, before ye were man-born, I dwelled in ancient Atlantis. There in the temple I drank of the wisdom, poured as a fountain of light from the dweller. Give the key to ascend to the presence of light in the great world. Stood I before the holy one, enthroned in the flower of fire. Veiled was he by the lightnings of darkness, else my soul by the glory have been shattered. Forth from the feet of his throne, like the diamond, rolled forth four rivers of flame from his footstool, rolled through the channels of clouds to the man world. Filled was the hall with spirits of heaven. Wonder of wonders was the starry palace. Above the sky, like a rainbow of fire and sunlight, were formed from the spirits. Sang they the glories of the Holy One. Then from the midst of the fire came a voice, behold the glory of the first cause. I beheld that light, high above all darkness. Reflected in my own being, I attained, as it were, to the God of all gods, the Spirit Son, the sovereign of the sun spheres. That's this, guys. That's that. You know what I mean? What's up? Nun ma, num ma, num ma 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 ma. Missed you. Missed you, mama. You know, and I believe that totally. Again came the voice, there is one, even the first, who hath no beginning, who hath no end, who hath made all things, who governs all, who is good, who is just, who illumines, who sustains. There is one, even the first. Then from the throne there poured a great radiance, surrounding and lifting my soul by its power. Swiftly I moved through the spaces of heaven. Shown was I, the mystery of mysteries, shown the secret heart of the cosmos. Carried was I to the land of Arulu, stood before the lords in their houses. Opened they the doorway, so I might glimpse the primordial chaos. Shuddered my soul to the vision of horror. Shrank back my soul from the ocean of darkness. Then saw I the need for the barriers, saw the need for the lords of Arulu. Only they, with their infinite wisdom, balance could stand in the way of the impouring chaos. Only they could guard God's creation. And that's, I think that's the, then did I pass around the circle of eight, saw all of the souls who had conquered the darkness, saw the splendor of light where they dwelled. Long I to take my place in their circle, but longed I also for the way I had chosen, when I stood in the halls of Amenti and made my choice of the work I would do. And he's speaking of, you know, he chose to help man in the consciousness of man create or achieve ascension. From the cradle to the grave, all we're told is lies. Yes, I think that. Do you think the issues in Venezuela are all because they wouldn't let the Rothschild bankers in? I suspect that the stuff in Venezuela is due to They wouldn't let the United States in there to destroy their country. So yes, Namama, do you know who Thoth Aman is? Yeah, like Libya, right? Makes the fake free country look bad. Yes, and it's the PR, the propaganda, the machine, the propaganda machine that we experience day to day. If you're into the mainstream media and paying attention to it, then I feel sorry for you. But the uh, the fact of the matter is that it's 420, and I gotta. That is Miles Take, if you remember him. Miles, that's Danny. So how did you get permission from your enslaver to be online? He called me a few times. Did you know that? Did you know I talked to him? That's all right. No, hey, he loves you, and he just wants to keep you. He loves you, and he just wants to keep you. That's all. And I can't fault him for that. He seemed straightforward, and I think he loves you. He does care about you. It's a side effect of having a I excuse me. uh, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Life is a trial and tribulation. This is for sure. And isn't it funny what we put up with? I suppose. You are pretty witty, Numma, and I think everybody in this chat right now is pretty damn fucking spot on with their wit. Knives find holes, and once we're not there. Life is like a box of I was going to say that too. How did you know? There's something we could talk about. What about the Mandela effect? What happened to that, guys? Yeah, I've missed you. I've totally missed you. Wondering what happened to you. Yeah, he sent me a couple emails and everything, text messages and stuff. Yeah, no, Yawanoa is architect. Travis. What's up, Sandy? Hi, sweetheart. I'm glad you're here. Glad to see you. MCF is here. Love her too. Yeah, you see, we have a strong, tight knit group here, guys, and I love you all. One and the same. I came in way late, but as a sky watcher, I have seen this entire story played out in the sky. Thank you for putting this into words to explain exactly how I feel about the hidden history. I know. How have you been, Sandy? In Lakesh, Mayan, we are one. Yes, sweetheart, we are. We are. Have you been working still? You've been busy, huh, Sandy? Has it been hot? Has it been hot over in Aussie town? Cool. What kind of camera did you get? You know, I think the Vatican Max is a icy cold in Bridgetown. Huh. Love you too, Olga. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. Yeah, but I got my video off right now because I don't want the censorship police to see what I'm doing. You know, it's like 420 here in Minnesota. You know what I mean? Olympus. Love you too, sweetheart. Yes, prayers to your relatives in Venezuela. Them ruling types were many times completely stupid and insane to boot. Got a mega lens included also and shade filter. Can't wait to, yeah, I'd like to see that. Check out the Queen's Crown Round the Rim Ice Wall. Queen's Crown Round the Rim Ice Wall. Uh-oh, okay, that's better, Steve. What do you mean? I did quit that for a while, but I had to start it up so I could quit smoking cigarettes. I took up drinking for a couple weeks, but switching to smoking tomorrow. How's your head? I mean, I thought you were doing pretty good in the mental assets for a while. Reality is a total insane lunatic illogical criminal mess. Yes, if you want to think of it that way. I think that just like Pluto, we all inherently have every aspect of good and every aspect of bad in us. I believe that we can do great and we can do evil. It is up to us individually to make the choice whether or not to pay it forward for humanity's sake. And I think that is what it's all about. I think that is the one act which can turn into every act or many acts, but an act of kindness without expectations of anything in return is what we need to propagate endlessly. You know what I mean? I think that's Queen's crown, 7 diamonds top is the crown to rip in the ice wall and stuck in the dome. I don't get not feeling anything like our elites, but it's spot on, yo. That makes you badass. Jesus was badass too. You can, how can they feel nothing? The aleph, the top of the tree, is good and bad unified. Yes, it's the two making the two one again. It's the divine and the male principle, or the male divine and the female divine principle. Generate. Okay. Yes, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Where the good and the evil, the yin and the yang, yes, it all exists all at once, and I do believe that wait till you see how he is going to deal with them. I'm glad I am on his side. Gotta stop that wheel, yo. The wheel is only stoppable via starting a new wheel of kindness or a new wheel of love. You know, and it's cliche at this moment or point, you know, to say that, you know, just love and whatever. That's that's not just what it is. It's paying it forward. Doing what's right for humanity's sake, not for your own good, not for your own benefit, not for even the next person's benefit, but for everybody's benefit, because we are all one and we are all one for all. That's how we should be. That's how everybody should see life as. We should all see everybody, from the Muslim to the Asian to the Buddhist to the Christian to the white guy to the black guy to the brown guy to the yellow guy to the dolphin, to the elephant, to the cockroach, to the fly. We should all see everything and everybody as one, because it's all part of the one energy. We are all part of one energy. And that one energy is in us all. But we are not the all per se. You know what I mean? It's like you can break a magnet into a million pieces, but you can't separate the aspects of that magnet by breaking them and breaking it into pieces. What you end up with is a bunch of weaker magnets of the same properties, but weaker. Just like the holographic principle, or just like the hologram. You take a holographic positive, they're called, I think, the things that the light shines through to create the hologram, which is a point source laser that shines through a holographic positive to create the 3D image. You know, you take that image, that holographic positive, you break that into a million pieces, you take the one piece of it, you'll see an image of the whole. That's how I know for sure. It's like when you view your own live stream on YouTube and you see the picture and the picture and the picture and the picture and the infinity thing. You know? It just tells you, it speaks to the Fibonacci, the spiral, to get back, I never finished this point. Everything in our physical manifestation is uh, a point source emission, or think of you or yourself as a black hole. If you can get that concept in your head, everything, everywhere that is physical is always in motion, vibrating, oscillating, in essence, to the point source. Anything attracted or anything with gravity is a point source, inertial, force in motion entity that, you know, I think that there's a black hole where the entropy, the chaos, the black, dark, and then there's a white hole, the light, the day, the day and the night. You know, is it a coincidence that there's 12 cranial nerves in our heads? They're paired, which makes 24. And we have 12 hours of daylight and we have 12 hours of night in a 24-hour period. Right? There's no coincidence in that, folks. There's 12 signs in our zodiac. And all of a sudden a 13th one pops up, and so it's Ophiuchus. Which, what is he doing? What's it doing? Wrestling a serpent, a snake. And what is this snake? What is the snake to us, guys? Knowledge, gnosis, wisdom, right? Or the Ouroboros is the circle. The squaring of the circle is the description of how the infinite can exist in a finite. how it can exist at a 0 point, a point source. That point source is the light that we see. Without seeing anything, without experiencing some, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to get at here is that our manifestation of physical existence is a necessity and a privilege, I think, because within us is the measure of all things. We recreate creation in union with God. That's the ultimate of the culmination of the great work, in my opinion. That's what I think it's all about now. Nibiru to me was a trigger word because Nibiru is a story of ascension. It's about crossing the divide, the sticks, from the physical to the spiritual. It's learning that we are more, like Milky Way reminded me last night, that we are spiritual beings living in human bodies, or we aren't humans experiencing spiritual or knowing spirit exists. We're spiritual beings experiencing physical humanity. And in essence, I think that's we enjoy it. And I think that when we're done and we're judges of ourselves, at the end of the day, we decide when to come back here until we, make that coupling with the ineffable, our higher self. I know this higher self. I've experienced it several times in my life. That's no bullshit. I've had, I think, guardian angels around me at times, put stuff in my head. Like when I was working on that car underneath the dashboard on a brake booster in a sealed up garage for over an hour, and a voice in my head said, "Get out of here." And I didn't even second guess it. I got up and I walked out, went walking to the door, and I collapsed at the door. Luckily, my face landed outside the door and I lived. I laid there for 2 hours, couldn't move. Oh, and another thing I just skated by recently. I'm going to tell you all what happened. I was on my way to work the other day, and I had one more corner to turn. The whole time I was driving to work, I was sleepy, and I decided I can close my eyes for a second. Well, I found myself, totaled my truck out, and I was in the middle of a field waking up going, what the hell? Yeah. So I could have killed somebody recently, and that's the biggest fear I have, is hurting somebody doing some stupid shit like that. So, me, I'm not perfect. By no means am I perfect. Yes, I fell asleep. Yeah, and I think our higher self is thank you. I'm fine. Buy a Tesla. Right. I wish I could afford a Tesla. You know, I want to apologize to everybody for not completing that trip that I was going to make and visit everybody. My intentions were there. I went and seen one good friend, Jerry Runky Monkey, and I spent a few hours with him because he lived by Myrtle Beach. But my intentions were that I was going to drive from here towards the East Coast and stop by all these people's houses, but I had my significant other with me and one of my children, and they weren't having none of that. So, I'm not blaming them for not doing it, but While I was driving, though, I realized that I hate driving. Yeah, I know. I got to start sleeping too. Right. Yeah, I saw it wrong. Yeah, I know. I know you'd invite me in there, Yawa, Mr. Rakatamata. You know, and it's so crazy that the journey I've experienced right in plain view of all you guys. You know what I mean? Yes, road trips are better in theory. Yes, I do believe things are going to change, Sandy, for the better, but I think things are going to get a lot worse first. And I think it's part of the cycle. But I think I think things getting worse is in your own mind, though. If you follow me on that line of thinking, you know, I could kill you in your sleep. I would never kill you. I went hunting this year, and I usually I'm a stone cold killer, and no pun intended. But I couldn't, you know, I shot at one deer, and that's I could have shot, I could have shot nine of them, but I couldn't. Yes, systems need to break down before they change. That is correct. That is very correct. And I think the only thing we need worry about as far as cataclysmic shit goes is what the hell the sun is doing, and I believe it's all part of the whole cycles. And I think that's why information is being more readily available to us on a subconscious level, in a dream state, in a esoteric sense. I believe that the white sun is directly related to that, the resonant frequency of that color or whatever is going on with that. But I think there's something going on with that, and what that causes is the weather. Right now, there's so many fields around here that are flooded, farm fields. So what does that tell you? You know, that's our biggest issue, I think, is going to be food shortages and money for food. Yeah, the UFO thing is a sideshow to distract. They saved it for the point in which that's the same reason why they started naming storms going across the country. Winter storms. They used to only name hurricanes or tropical depressions. They never named snowstorms. I never heard the word bombogenesis before. I never heard land hurricane before. And all this shit is just it's ramping up. And I mean, it's the same reason. In my opinion, with that whole thing in the chemtrails is that the D layer of our atmosphere is excited by the solar intensity. And the D layer is when the sun activates the ionosphere by the radiation from the output of the sun. Whatever the process of that particular light from our sun creates the ionosphere to get excited and propagate storms, wind, catastrophic weather. And I think that's what HARP was about, was to mitigate that. And I've seen evidence of that on radar. It's like that bullseye video I did recently about the radar. And people say, well, it's just the radar signature from, but I believe that HARP is actually to mitigate or to throw a monkey wrench in the gears of a building hurricane. Okay. Now, weather war and the manipulation of cloud seeding and making the atmosphere so that it retains water and dropping it certain places and not dropping it in others has occurred too, I believe. But I think for the most part, the chemtrails are an attempt to mitigate the intensity of the X-rays and the UV radiation coming from the sun, and to prevent the D layer from getting so excited that it creates superstorms. Or, it's like the jet stream disappeared, and now when a storm goes across the United States, it goes across the whole United States, not just follows the path of a worm, or I think it's the sun is starting to come up in the UK. The sky is bright red. Awesome. CERN's fusion it all up, crash into me. If the atmosphere was broken, why would they profit from it? Right. Nebraska is losing crops this year and lost tons of livestock. Well, and not just that, the trade wars with China caused our Midwest farmers to sit on their grain. The wheat, the corn, the whatever, soybeans, whatever. It caused them to sit on last year's harvest. And what did they do? They stored it in these silos on their farmland, which then got flooded. So last year's crop is gone, and this year's crop hasn't been planted yet because there's water, they're underwater. So yes, the magnetosphere is exactly, yes, the sun disturbance because of Planet X or a natural cycle on its own. I don't think Planet X exists. We are standing on Planet X. We are the planet of the crossing. Nibiru is right under our feet. Nibiru, by definition, means a place of crossing, usually to do with rivers, or a signpost for transition. And in every context, in the cuneiform, on cuneiform.org, you can go there and get that definition. You can read and see all the instances where Nibiru is used in their literature, as it's used as a planet. They called Jupiter Nibiru. But I mean, they used planets in the sky as like a timepiece, and it was a signpost for a time of transition when Nibiru split the waters of Tiamat, and the sea was stormy or whatever. But I mean, Tiamat, in essence, is the salt water or earth. The Absu is the fresh water, the primordial chaos, and that's where the whole 7 hermetic principles and all of that come in. The loop of creation. First there's correspondence, or first there's mentalism, then correspondence, then vibration, then polarity, and that's when the waters are separated. Okay, then the rhythm, cause and effect, gender, which is regeneration or human, to mentalism, which creates the all-spark correspondence and goes all the way around the loop again. And you can think of that loop in several different ways, in several different schemes, and energy schemes, and atomic, and mineral, and that's where when you start wrapping your mind around that, you start realizing that it's all automatic, and it's all a cycle. The ebb and the flow, the out breath, the in breath, the seed, the tree, the leaf, the dirt, the seed, the tree, the branch, the leaf, the dirt. You understand what I mean by that? The tree creates its own dirt, that its seed turns into that tree, that creates its own dirt, that drops another seed, that regrows. The regenerative principle of the tree is the same as the regenerative principle of man or human. Man is the measure of all things. Without us, regeneration, gender would not be possible in the light realm, I suppose. The creator is Lucifer, the light bearer. Our creator is the right hand of God, which is Lucifer, the light bearer that creates physical manifestation. the demiurge. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. We just spent 7 years crossing the equator of the Milky Way galaxy, the 7 years of tribulation where we are heading back to where creation began, God's turf, going home. Yes, eventually we will get there. I live in the tangents. But I mean that's it's everything can be everything can be manifest in the everything can be manifest in the physical as well as the esoteric, or so we can see things exoterically or esoterically, or as like all of these hot button words like the occult or the Masons, the Freemasons, or the Illuminati, this or that or this or that. Now, each one of them groups were founded, except for maybe the exception of the Skull and Crossbones and all that fraternity. But I'm talking the Freemasons, the Illuminati, which are the what I think they were the House of the Crescent. I think they all fell underneath that moniker at one point, and it meant that they were after the truth. That was the original motivation for them, and a lot of these these secret societies started because of censorship. They could only come together in secret to try to find the truth. Well, I honestly believe that some of them were malevolent about hiding it from the masses, and I think there was a deliberate action on some groups or maybe individual in a group part to hide it. And I think to get back to what somebody was saying about the Vatican and their egregious attempts to hide everything from us and how successful they've been. But if you look into the symbolism of the Vatican and the courtyard and everything, you see the formula for ascension right there. You see it all, plain sight, like the layout of the Washington D.C. The obelisks, the Washington Monument is pretty much a penis sticking out of the earth to collect its energy, to collect the energy from the cosmos, to inseminate the cosmos with the earth energy. I think that's the symbolism behind the phallus and the chalice, or the yin and the yang, the innie, the outie, right? Right. Very true, Thoth. Very true. The Bible itself claims that those rich evangelists are phonies. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It sure does. I wonder if we, our species, are being bred as alien hybrids, similarly as we harvest cows. Or are we the ones corrupting our DNA simultaneously? Is it all hype or some truth? I think I think there are genetically modified organisms, and I believe that originally people are looking for a better way, but they turn into mad scientists, or they get behind a belief and make that belief part of them. And when you believe something that I don't believe, I feel attacked or feel like I have to force my version of truth upon you. And I think that's what it all stems from. That's what human nature is doing. That's what the human psyche is doing to us. Just say no to GMO, right? You know, I think it's all interconnected, though. We are all on this. We are all in this pickle jar under the fake fridge light, in a fake fridge, in some warehouse that doesn't exist, in a country that has been wiped away. Memory has been wiped away of. We all exist in that place together. Flat, round, it doesn't matter. Black, brown, it doesn't matter. Everything that the mainstream media, the government, all of them entities have been shoving in our face, down our throats. Like, why on Facebook can you go on Facebook and see people belittle Muslims or belittle Christians or, pass judgment? But if I mirror a video about a shooting that people are saying is all a bunch of fake bullshit, a bunch of actors, but I take a different narrative and say, hey, it's people died, but it's because, they had this guy mind fucked, and that guy who live streamed it and was mind fucked did kill people and had help doing it. And all of a sudden I get censored for it. But they can propagate the Muslim against white guy, or the black person against the white guy, or they can propagate all of this racial tension to the point where people start hating people just because of what people say about each other or what they perceive others to say about each other. Why is that so? Why do we allow that to happen? Ask yourself that. Why do we go on Facebook and allow it? Why don't we make comments saying what I do every time I see that shit? People are, what gives this Muslim, even if it's a Muslim politician, the right to do this and this and this and this, but they're here to be free? What gives you the right to ostracize somebody for having a belief? Period. Who cares what anybody believes? As long as they ain't stepping on you, sticking in you, or stabbing in you, why do you give a shit what they believe? Why can they propagate that on Facebook and we can't share a video about what's really happening in our life? Why do we allow that to happen? Because there is somebody that hijacked us. Something hijacked us. I agree with that. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit and dwell on it? Are you going to say this or that? Or, are you going to do anything about it? What are you going to do about it? Okay, I'll agree with you. All of that shit exists. So what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Me, I'm going to find the truth. What I need to find while the shit show goes on next to me, or I'm part of the shit show, because we have to eat, sleep, and thrive in the shit show because we're in the shit show. We are the shit show. For show, we the shit show. Show. It matters to me whether you are black, white, or otherwise, Muslim, Christian, atheist, agnostic, whatever. Matters not to me who you are. Matters to me who I am and what I truly want to attain. And I think that's what we need to start doing, is paying it forward, folks. And that's the only way we're going to get anywhere. The only way. We can know things that are happening. We can't. So, we can say, like Bill Cooper, if anybody knows who Bill Cooper was, he was shot by the FBI in front of his house in like 90 or something like that. Or no, he witnessed, actually it was in 2002, I think, because he witnessed he was on the radio the whole day when 9/11 happened. And I think that was in 2001, right? But be the change, be the light, do unto others. That's what we can do. That's end this time, because we all know the truth now and have the big kahuna here to make sure of it. And if anybody's wondering, Sandgroper Studios uh, is Sandy. She lives in Australia. We need to find a bigger building. The Justice League is going to be a population explosion. Yes, Bill Cooper was a Wayne Steiger presented some data recently about Facebook developing AI mind reading technology that is scheduled to be rolled out. Mind blowing. That's yeah, that's totally yeah, and they're talking about the social credit system, and they're going to try to tie that AI thing into it, and there's going to be a certain time where we have no rights, and are we going to be okay with that? Are we the ones that are going to be singled out and ostracized? And because I'm already there. Anybody that is legitimately looking for what reality and what this whole shit show is about is just sitting back going, what the hell is going on with people? I mean, of all the shit that we got to put up with, I mean, people are blind and ignorant to all of it. You point out a chemtrail to people, and they're like, they look at you like you're crazy. You say anything bad about 9/11 or it was the government, people think you're fucking crazy. I already thought that too, Numba. I did. Yes, and yes, the whole CIA propagation of propaganda and the FE flat Earth thing is a prime example. And I'm not knocking anybody for believing flat Earth or anything, and I don't want to turn this into a flat Earth debate either. But the whole flat Earth thing was propagated by the CIA guys. Just like recently when the Adam and Eve paper came out, that was actually a book written by somebody back in 2000 or 1980 something or whatever. That Adam and Eve document. I did a video on it as well. The declassified, sanitized version. What are you talking about? It was a book, and they classified it at the CIA, and then they declassified it and released it on YouTube. Wow, isn't that convenient? Why? Why is the mainstream? You go to Google now, you go to your search engine on Google, and why is every other article about the last ditch effort to curb climate change going to be atmospheric aerosol injections? Why is that the big topic now? We might use this as a last ditch effort, they're saying, when we all know they've been doing it for 10, 15 years, probably longer than that. Why? What are we going to do about that? Yes, flat Earth is to create division. Yes. Right. A precursor to future crime and looking up people for what the crimes the whole social credit system. Yes. Chum trails. Lepidolite is then clouds there. Yes. Because they want us to feel guilty to let them do something like CERN again. I believe that CERN is not as potent or as strong of a weapon as everybody is led to believe. I really believe that CERN is a psyop of ultimate proportions. Now, if CERN is the same thing that was in that movie Deja Vu, then we got something there. Now, I can wrap my mind around that concept and the reason why everybody in the world would spend their money, every country would spend billions on a nuclear research facility that's underground that can create a magnetic field. Now here, this is where CERN ties in. CERN can create, it's a machine to create a magnetic field 1,000 times that of the Earth's, or 100,000 times that of the Earth's. Now, what if Here's a positive spin on everything that I just talked about in a negative way. What if the chemtrails, the aluminums, sulfates, the barium, the strontium, whatever they're putting in the atmosphere, is to propagate a artificial magnetosphere created by the CERN Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, which is it a coincidence it's 0.25% of the Earth's circumference because it's 25 miles in diameter, 300 feet underground, or 30 feet under, yeah, 300 feet underground, and it's a big, huge magnetic toroid. You know, it's a tunnel, magnetic tunnel in a circle. It could be a portal. It could be a time machine of sorts. Remember that movie Deja Vu with Denzel Washington, where he went back and he played with the fridge magnets to give that girl a message on her fridge. We don't know what CERN really does. Yes. Yes, atmospheric injections. The bill for it was out to public in about 2013, but people can't read and research. Right. Right. And but I mean, what if CERN is to create a magnetosphere to protect us or protect Earth from asteroids, because that's what makes them blow up in the atmosphere is the friction from the magnetosphere, right? And the atmosphere. Because without the magnetosphere, there'd be no atmosphere, there'd be no ionosphere, there'd be no stratosphere, there'd be no lithosphere, you know, there'd be none of the spheres. Right? Earth is a loony bin. Yes, I believe that's it's a portal of sorts too. I think because I did that. I got some information here. I'll look it up on my drive and I'll show it to you guys. This is going on for a while, but you know, hey, I'm here. I'm here to the end, guys. No, I'm enjoying this because this is where we get most of our aha moments from, is when we're talking about stuff like this. Now, we know that there's a good and a bad to everything. That's why I'm bringing this up. You know, what if? What if? You got to give them the what if at least that far. You know, I hope I have this saved. I think I have it saved on my phone, but I think I have it saved in my drive. But it shows you what CERN in relation to, because the facility CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, is the big circle, okay, and the analyzer, or ALICE, is the reader of the subatomic collisions, and it's the size. It's in relation. It's the circle next to the circle, which is the moon and the Earth. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that caught my attention, was that, and I had it saved on a PDF. I don't know if you guys have read Initiates of the Flame by Manly P. Hall, or heard his audiobook on that. It's pretty cool. Manly P. Hall was a smart, witty old chap. Yeah, I'm looking for something here, but I'm not going to be able to find it because I can never find anything when I'm talking to you fine folks. Oh, right here. I think this is it. Come on, really? Okay, I'm gonna share it now. Yes, I know. I appreciate you guys coming in and joining me on this talk. How long have we been going now? 2 hours or 3 hours? Is it 2 or 3? 2 hours. I should have stopped this an hour ago because people don't. Snake oil says so. Yeah, there's right. They just started a CERN in South Dakota. The Minnesota Sudan group moved there. I know nothing about that. I haven't even heard about that. But I do know that there's one of those Tesla coils down in, I think it's South Dakota. Oh, no, it's just a link. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Got you guys all dressed up for the show, and I'm going to drop you. That's a joke. It's just a link. Okay, let's see if it brings me there. Maybe. There it is. Black hole rewrite. Black hole breakthrough scientists. Yeah, I don't know, but the biggest thing I have with CERN and the hype about it is what's that quail guy that says they're opening portals for giants to come over and eat us. Yeah, there wasn't any chemtrails today, but have you noticed in the evening it's still hazy? You know, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna call this. And what's up? What's up, Yawa? What's up, buddy? Oh. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna end this live stream, guys. I'm getting tired here. Isn't what it used to be. Sorry, sticky keyboard. The Quail guy, yeah, Steve Quail, yes. And the guy who says that these demons are coming over to eat us and all that. And it's through CERN, like Anthony Patch talks about it all the time. You know. You too, Miles. I love you guys. I really do. I care about you. And do an act of kindness for anybody, and do it without anything expecting anything in return. Yes, I am going to go to sleep. I am. I am. I have been sleeping a lot lately, actually. Yes. Love you too. Yeah, you too, sweetheart. I'm glad you were here. I will feast upon X-Lax and die laughing. You're crazy. Good night, guys. Love, peace, chicken grease. Mighty spirit of light that shines through the cosmos, draw my flame closer in harmony to thee. Lift up my fire from out of the darkness, magnet fire that is one with thee all. Lift up my soul, thou mighty and potent, child of the light, turn not away. Draw me in power to melt in thy furnace, one with all things and all things with one. Fire of the life strain, and one with the brain. Peace.